Okay, next we're going to talk about how you can write paragraphs successfully. So within an essay structure, the normal essays that we will write for this class are 5 paragraph essays. You've got your introduction. I talked a little bit about what introductions should look like in the last slide. Then you've got your 3 main body paragraphs. I say MBP1, MBP2, MBP3. And then you've got your conclusion, which is essentially wrapping things up and hopefully leaving a powerful capstone statement or call to action at the end. So we need to think about how to write those main body paragraphs. You're always going to start with a topic sentence, and your topic sentence, first of all, should be connected to your thesis statement, and it's going to clearly state your purpose for that paragraph. What is your focus for that paragraph? There's that word purpose again. It comes up again and again in our class because it's important to keep it right in your crosshairs. So next, you've got your topic sentence. It clearly states, okay, I'm talking about the if we're doing the forestry, the old growth forest topic, you might want your first main body paragraph to talk about the benefits that old growth forests provide environmentally. So then your topic sentence might be something like this. Clearly, old growth forests have massive benefits for biodiversity and carbon sequestration, period. So you've kind of even hinted about 2 of your main ideas. Next, you're going to move into talking about each of the main ideas, and the format that I really like to promote is what we call a triad, and in fact I call it a triad of support. Now what that means is you've got that first idea, which is biodiversity. So then you would want to make a clear statement of that point. Old growth forests as ecosystems provide many homes for a range of different endangered species. So that would be your first main point. Then you want to include an example of that. One clear example of this is that barred owls, which are endangered, primarily reside in old growth forest stands. And if you are writing at a more advanced level, which we will be doing in this class, you would want a citation to come there, whether it's an integral citation or a non-integral citation, to show that your example actually comes from a viable and credible source. And then finally, the third point to complete your triad is your analysis. So you're going to explain your example in detail, or you're going to analyze it, and the 3 together make what we call that triad of support. Now, within a main body paragraph, you're going to want to have more than one main point. If you've just got one idea in your main body paragraph, it's a little thin, right? So I like to say to students, depending on the assignment and the word length that is looked for in that assignment, you want to have a minimum of 2 main points and a maximum of 4. So in the example that I kind of stated at the beginning of this slide, there were 2, right? There was biodiversity, and then there was carbon sequestration. So then my second main point would be, not only are old growth forests really solid environments for endangered species, but they also lock down tons of carbon to help prevent climate change. So then I've made my second main point, then I would make my second example, hopefully with the citation, and then I would include my analysis. So you repeat the triad format for all of the main points. Again, 2 to 4 main points will make a well-supported body paragraph. Okay, so we can now, let's just pop out of here and let's see if we can do some live writing right on the spot. So I'll build that paragraph that I was just mentioning. Here we go. So pretty straight up, I've got my main focus here, the kind of topic or the purpose, and then we go into talking about kind of giving a plan for how I'm going to develop this idea. They don't like that. Anyways, again, as I stated before, we don't let things slow us down. Instead, we push on. Okay, they just wanted me to remove the dash there. It's a one-word thing. And yeah, a lot of the word processing tools we use these days will help us with things like spelling and even some grammar points. But you want to double check it yourself. You don't want to rely exclusively on the technology. So there's an example of me using a synonym. So I've noted that I've already mentioned old growth twice here. So now I've kind of come up with another way to mention this. And you can, there are two different strategies in terms of your research. First of all, you might want to go out and do your research in advance and find your supporting documentation in advance. That's one strategy. The other strategy is if you already know something to be true, like maybe you've read it in the past or you've seen it on a documentary or something like that, you can go ahead and do the writing initially, and then inside of a spot marker, you just put your the parts of the citation, as you know that you'll need to put in here. That'll be the author's name, then the date of publication, and then my page number. And this is kind of a placeholder, so that's just there to lock down that spot and remind me I need to go out and find that source. And I know this is true because I was just doing some research beforehand, but because I'm writing and I want to keep these videos relatively tight in terms of time, I will go back and then find the citation detail and put it in there in a second. So now comes my analysis. This is closing off that first triad of support. And remember, we want to try to make sure we put our signal verb in the past tense. So I'm going to mark that. I'll just highlight this to remind myself later. And then you can use some of these tools like adding comments and stuff like that to, and you might want to put just in here, we'd put past tense for signal verb. So I'm going to have to edit that later. But again, I don't want to slow myself down, so I push on. When you're drafting, keep on moving. So I'll do my analysis and then I'll stop the video and complete the paragraph later. I don't want to run overtime on my video. I can only upload a 15-minute video to YouTube, so I can try to keep it tight here. So now the analysis will go into the present tense. And that indicates I've gone from my citation into my analysis. Okay, so the paragraph is developing well. I might need a linking tool here, a linking word in between to smooth the way for my second main idea. So here is one. Furthermore is a nice word that will bridge to my second idea. My second main idea again is going to be the whole idea of sequestering carbon. Here's another synonym for old growth. And just an example of the actual, so this is the report that I was just citing there, and I could go down and here's my author. There's the date of publication and the page number. I would have to put. I'm going to put a placeholder in for the page number, but it was one of these paragraphs down here. So here's the sequestration area. There's a lot of great data in here actually. Anyways, I'm trying to stick to a strict time limit here. So I know that the name of the author is Wheating and the date is 2019. And then again, I will find that page number, but it's okay to put that placeholder in there and go back and seek that out later. So that's an example of moving into the second topic. And then we might analyze this as well. Okay, so there you go. I might include a wrap-up sentence here, but we could also, and if you are going to include a wrap-up sentence, you might kind of reiterate that main idea, or you might even project forward to the next idea. But we could even just leave, if we're trying to push forward and we're kind of blocked again, we just might say something like this. We put in another placeholder. We say plus wrap-up sentence. And again, this goes to writing with the flow. So there you go. That's an example of building out a paragraph just right in front of you. Hopefully that was helpful to see, and you can see how I included those citations as well.